Welcome to quicktechie.com, Palo Alto Networks, Network Security Generalist Certification Training. Let's dive into next module.
Panorama's core function. Okay, let's talk about Panorama's core function. Panorama is a key component in managing Palo Alto Networks security devices, especially when you have many of them. Imagine your company has many Palo Alto Networks firewalls, maybe a physical one in your main office, virtual ones in your cloud environment, and maybe more firewalls in other locations. If you had to connect to each of these firewalls separately, one by one, every time you needed to make a change or check logs, it would take a lot of time and effort. Panorama is designed to solve this. Its core function, its main job, is to be a centralized management platform for Palo Alto Networks devices. Centralized means it's one single place from which you can control multiple devices. A management platform is a system that allows administrators, the people who manage the network and security, to configure, monitor, and update the security devices. Palo Alto Networks devices includes firewalls like the PA series, VM series, and other security tools from Palo Alto Networks. So, Panorama is a dedicated system that acts as a single control center for all your Palo Alto Networks firewalls and related security products. Because it's centralized, Panorama simplifies operations compared to managing devices individually. Simplifies operations means it makes the work of managing the network security devices much easier and less complicated. Instead of needing to log into each firewall's own management interface separately, which is managing them individually, you manage them all through Panorama. Making a change to a security policy that applies to multiple firewalls is much faster when you do it once in Panorama and push it out, compared to repeating the change on each firewall one by one. To enable this, Panorama provides a single interface for administrators. An interface is the screen or tool that an administrator uses to interact with the system and make changes. Single interface means administrators log into just one system, Panorama, and from there, they can see and manage all the connected Palo Alto Networks firewalls and their configurations, policies, and logs. It's one place to go to do everything related to those devices. In short, Panorama's main purpose is to be a single, central system where administrators can manage all their Palo Alto Networks firewalls and devices from one place, making the job of operating and configuring security across many devices much simpler than managing each one separately. Centralized management platform for Palo Alto Networks devices. Okay, let's focus on centralized management platform for Palo Alto Networks devices. This is a fundamental description of what Panorama is. Imagine your company has many security devices made by Palo Alto Networks, such as firewalls, located in different places, maybe one at the main office entrance, another securing servers, virtual ones in your cloud environment, and more in branch offices. Each of these devices has its own settings, rules, policies, and logs. Without Panorama, managing these devices means you would have to connect to each one separately. You'd log into the firewall at the main office, then log into the virtual firewall in the cloud, and so on, just to make a change or check its status. This is difficult and time-consuming when you have many devices. Panorama is designed to solve this by being a centralized management platform. Centralized means it's located in one single place, one single system. All the control is brought together there. A management platform is a system or a tool that allows people who manage networks and security, administrators, to control, configure, monitor, and update security devices. So, Panorama is a single system where you connect all your different Palo Alto Networks devices, like your firewalls. From this one central location, administrators can manage all those devices together. It's like having a single control panel in one room that lets you adjust the settings and see the status of security cameras and alarms in many different buildings, instead of having to go to each building and check each camera, alarm system individually. This means that administrators don't have to log into dozens of separate firewalls. They log into Panorama, and from that single system, they can see the status of all their Palo Alto Networks firewalls, change policies that apply to multiple devices, and see logs from everywhere. In simple terms, Panorama is a single, main system used to control and look after all the Palo Alto Networks security devices that a company uses, making it much easier than managing each device on its own. Simplifies operations compared to managing devices individually. Okay, let's focus on simplifies operations compared to managing devices individually. This is one of the main reasons companies use Panorama. Imagine your company has 10 firewalls spread across different offices and cloud locations. Each firewall needs to have security policies set up, updated, and monitored. Managing devices individually means that you would have to log in to each one of those 10 firewalls separately. If you needed to make a small change to a security rule that applies to all 10 firewalls, you would have to connect to the first firewall, make the change, save it, log out, then connect to the second firewall, make the same change, save it, log out, and repeat this process 10 times. Checking the logs for all 10 firewalls would also require logging into each one separately. This is the traditional way of managing multiple devices, and it can be very complex and time-consuming. Panorama simplifies operations because it allows you to manage all those devices from one central place. Instead of logging into each firewall separately, you log into just Panorama. To make that small security rule change on all 10 firewalls, you make the change once in Panorama, and then Panorama automatically sends that change out to all the firewalls it manages. This is much faster and reduces the chance of making a mistake on one of the firewalls. To check logs from all 10 firewalls, you view them all together in Panorama's interface. So, simplifies operations compared to managing devices individually, means that using Panorama makes the job of configuring, monitoring, and updating multiple Palo Alto Networks firewalls much easier and less complex than if you had to handle each firewall separately, one by one. It saves time and reduces the potential for errors. Provides a single interface for administrators. Okay, let's focus on provides a single interface for administrators. This is about how the people who manage the network and security actually interact with Panorama. An interface is basically the screen, dashboard, or software tool that someone uses to control or view a system. When you log into a website, you are using its web interface. When you use a program on your computer, you are using its graphical interface. Before Panorama, if you had multiple firewalls, each firewall had its own management interface. To configure Firewall 1, you'd open its interface. To configure Firewall 2, you'd open its separate interface. To see logs for Firewall 1, you'd look at its logs interface, and for Firewall 2, you'd look at its separate logs interface. This meant administrators had to learn and switch between many different interfaces for all their devices. Panorama provides a single interface for administrators. This means the people who manage the network and security only need to log into one system, Panorama, and use one interface. From this single interface, they can access and control all the Palo Alto Networks firewalls and devices that are managed by Panorama. Think of it like having one master control panel with one screen and one set of buttons that lets you manage all the lights, alarms, and cameras in an entire building complex, instead of needing to go to each room and use a separate control panel for that room's devices. From this single Panorama interface, administrators can see the status and health of all their managed firewalls. Create and modify security policies and rules that apply to multiple firewalls. Push out configurations to many devices at once. View and analyze logs from all managed devices collected together in one place. So, provides a single interface for administrators, means that Panorama gives the network and security managers one centralized screen or tool to manage all their Palo Alto Networks firewalls from, making their job much simpler and more efficient because they don't have to constantly switch between different interfaces for each device. What Panorama manages? Okay, let's talk about what Panorama manages. This tells us which Palo Alto Networks security devices and services can be controlled and viewed using the Panorama platform. Panorama is designed to be the central control center, but it interacts slightly differently with different types of Palo Alto Networks products. First, Panorama directly manages Strata NGFWs, PA series, VM series. Strata NGFWs is a term used for Palo Alto Networks' traditional next-generation firewalls. These include the PA series, which are the physical hardware firewall appliances. They also include the VM series, which are the virtual firewall software versions used in private and public cloud environments. Directly manages means Panorama has full control over the configuration and policies of these firewalls. You create and push policies directly from Panorama to these PA series and VM series devices, and Panorama receives their logs directly. Second, Panorama integrates with SASE, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, for unified policy and logging. SASE refers to Palo Alto Networks' cloud-delivered security services, particularly Prisma Access, which secures remote users and sites, and Cloud NGFWs, firewall capabilities delivered from the cloud. These are cloud services, not devices you physically own or install in the same way as PA/VM series. Panorama integrates with these SASE services. Integrates means Panorama connects with them and works alongside them. It doesn't manage the underlying infrastructure of the cloud service, but it connects to the management plane of those services. The purpose of this integration is for unified policy and logging. This allows administrators to use Panorama's single interface to configure security policies that can be applied across both their traditional Strata firewalls and their SASE cloud services, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs. It also allows logs from these SASE cloud services to be collected and viewed together with logs from the Strata firewalls in Panorama's central logging system. So, what Panorama manages includes full control over physical and virtual firewalls, PA series, VM series, and also connects with cloud-delivered SASE services, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, to provide a single place to manage security policies and view logs for both traditional and cloud-based security components. Directly manages Strata NGFWs, PA series, VM series. Okay, let's focus on directly manages Strata NGFWs, PA series, VM series. This tells us the main types of firewalls that Panorama controls very closely. Strata NGFWs is a term Palo Alto Networks uses for their next-generation firewalls that are typically deployed by the customer, either as physical devices or as software in a customer's environment. These are the traditional firewalls. Within Strata NGFWs, there are two main types mentioned: PA series. These are the physical firewall appliances, the hardware boxes, that you install in your data center or office. VM series. These are the virtual firewall software versions that you install and run on your own servers or in your own cloud environments, like AWS, Azure, or your own virtualized data center. Panorama directly manages these PA series and VM series firewalls. Directly manages means Panorama has a strong, full connection and control over these devices. It's like Panorama is the master controller for these specific machines that your company owns or runs. When Panorama directly manages a firewall, it means administrators use Panorama to create and change all the firewall settings and security policies. Push those configurations and policies out to the firewall. See the full operational status and health of the firewall. Receive all the detailed logs generated by that firewall. You use Panorama as the central point to configure, monitor, and update these PA series and VM series firewalls. The relationship is very direct. Panorama tells the firewall what to do, and the firewall reports everything back to Panorama. So, directly manages Strata NGFWs, PA series, VM series, means that Panorama is primarily used to have complete central control over your physical firewalls, PA series, and your virtual firewalls that you run yourself, VM series, allowing you to manage their configurations, policies, and logs all from Panorama's single interface. Integrates with SASE, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, for unified policy and logging. Okay, let's explain how Panorama works with modern cloud security services. This is about integrates with SASE, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, for unified policy and logging. We know Panorama is the central management platform. We also know it directly manages traditional firewalls, PA series, VM series. But it also connects with cloud-based security services. SASE, Secure Access Service Edge, is a modern approach where security and networking are delivered from the cloud. Two key parts of Palo Alto Networks' SASE offering mentioned here are Prisma Access, which secures remote users and branch offices connecting to the cloud, and Cloud NGFWs, which provide firewall security for applications and data in public clouds. These are services running in the cloud, not physical devices you own in the same way as PA, VM series. Panorama integrates with these SASE components, Prisma Access and Cloud NGFWs. Integrates means Panorama connects to these cloud services and works together with them. It doesn't control every tiny detail of the cloud service infrastructure itself, but it links up to their management layers. The main reasons for this integration are for unified policy and logging. 1. Unified policy. Security policies are the rules that decide what traffic is allowed or blocked and what security checks are applied. With the integration, administrators can use Panorama's single interface to create security policies that apply not only to their traditional PA, VM series firewalls but also to their SASE services like Prisma Access and Cloud NGFWs. This creates a unified policy system, one place to manage rules for security everywhere, from the data center edge to remote users and cloud applications. It ensures policies are consistent regardless of where the user or data is located or which type of security enforcement point, firewall or cloud service, is being used. 2. Logging. All the detailed records, logs, generated by Prisma Access, about remote user, site traffic and security events, and by Cloud NGFWs, about security for cloud workloads, are sent to the Strata logging service, which Panorama can connect to. The integration allows Panorama to pull these logs in and view them alongside the logs from the directly managed PA, VM series firewalls. This provides unified logging. All your security logs from traditional firewalls and cloud SASE services are available in one place in Panorama's interface for monitoring, analysis, and reporting. So, integrates with SASE, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, for unified policy and logging, means that Panorama connects with Palo Alto Networks' cloud-delivered security services, Prisma Access and Cloud NGFWs, to provide a single platform where administrators can manage security rules consistently across traditional and cloud-based security, and view all security logs together in one place. This gives a unified view and control over the entire security deployment, whether devices are on premises or security is delivered from the cloud. Key benefits of using Panorama. Let's talk about the important advantages you get from using Panorama to manage your Palo Alto Networks security devices and services. These are the key benefits of using Panorama. 1. The first benefit is that it ensures policy consistency across multiple managed firewalls, services. Imagine you have many firewalls in different places, and you need them all to apply the same security rules, policies. Without Panorama, you'd have to manually create or copy those rules onto each firewall, which is difficult and prone to errors. Panorama lets you create a policy one time in its central interface. Then, it automatically applies that exact same policy to all the firewalls, PA series, VM series, and SASE services, Prisma Access, Cloud NGFWs, that it manages. This makes sure that your security rules are the same and work consistently everywhere across your network and cloud environment, reducing the risk of gaps or mistakes due to different configurations on different devices. 2. Next, it centralizes logging for unified monitoring and analysis across the deployment. All your Palo Alto Networks firewalls and SASE services generate detailed records, logs, about traffic and security events. Without Panorama, these logs are scattered across many devices. Panorama collects all these logs together into one central location, often the Strata logging service. This centralized logging means administrators can view all security events and traffic information from every managed firewall and SASE service in one place. This provides unified monitoring, seeing everything together in real time, and analysis, searching, reporting, and understanding trends across the entire network deployment from a single dashboard. It's much easier to spot attacks, see what happened, and understand network activity when all the information is in one place. 3. Finally, it streamlines configuration and reduces administrative effort for distributed security. Managing security for a network spread across many physical locations or cloud environments, distributed security, can require a lot of work. Panorama makes the job much easier, streamlines configuration, and requires less work from the people managing it, reduces administrative effort. Because you can configure policies, objects, and updates once in Panorama and push them out to many devices automatically, administrators save significant time compared to logging into each device individually. This makes implementing changes, maintaining security, and deploying new security features much faster and less demanding on the security team. In essence, using Panorama simplifies managing security by providing a single point of control, ensuring that security rules are applied the same way everywhere, bringing all your security logs together for a clear view, and making the job of managing security across many devices much more efficient for administrators. Ensures policy consistency across multiple managed firewalls, services. Okay, let's focus on ensures policy consistency across multiple managed firewalls, services. This is a major advantage of using Panorama when you have many security devices. Security policies are the rules that tell your firewalls and security services what network traffic is allowed, blocked, or needs security checks. In a large company, you might have many different Palo Alto Networks security devices and services in different locations, data centers, branch offices, cloud environments, and securing remote users. These are your multiple managed firewalls, services. If you manage each of these devices separately, it's difficult to make sure that the security policies are exactly the same on every single one. You might make a change on one firewall but forget to make it on another, or make a small mistake when copying the rule. This can lead to policy inconsistency, different security rules being applied in different parts of your network. This inconsistency can create security gaps if a rule is missed, or cause confusion and network problems if rules conflict. Panorama solves this problem. Because Panorama is a central management platform, you create your security policies in Panorama. You can create policies that apply globally, to many devices, or policies that apply to specific groups of devices. Once you define the policy in Panorama, Panorama is responsible for sending that policy out and making sure it is correctly applied to all the managed firewalls, services that the policy is supposed to cover. This process ensures policy consistency. It guarantees that the same set of security rules is applied exactly the same way across all the devices and services that you manage through Panorama. You make the rule once, and Panorama makes sure it's consistent everywhere. For example, if your policy says to block a new type of malware everywhere, you add that rule in Panorama, and it's automatically pushed to all your PA series firewalls, VM series firewalls, and Prisma Access cloud security services. You are confident that the same blocking rule is active everywhere needed. So, ensures policy consistency across multiple managed firewalls, services. Means that using Panorama guarantees that the security rules you define are applied the same way, without variations or errors, across all your different Palo Alto Networks firewalls and cloud security services, providing uniform security everywhere they are deployed. Centralizes logging for unified monitoring and analysis across the deployment. Okay, let's focus on centralizes logging for unified monitoring and analysis across the deployment. This explains a major benefit of using Panorama related to the records created by your security devices. Your Palo Alto Networks firewalls, PA series, VM series, CN series, and SASE cloud services, Prisma Access, cloud NGFWs, are constantly creating detailed records called logs. These logs contain important information about network traffic, security events, like threats blocked, user activity, and the health of the devices. Without Panorama, these logs are stored separately on each individual firewall or within the management system for each cloud service. If you have many devices, the logs are scattered in many different places. Panorama fixes this by being a central collection point. It centralizes logging. This means that all the logs from all your different Palo Alto Networks firewalls and SASE services are automatically sent to and collected together in one single location, which is part of Panorama's system, often using the Strata logging service as the storage. It's like having all the security reports from every building and every checkpoint in your company sent to one main headquarters filing room. Having all these logs collected in one central place enables unified monitoring and analysis. Unified monitoring. From Panorama's single interface, administrators can see a combined view of live network activity and security alerts coming in from all managed devices and services at the same time. It's one dashboard to watch everything. Analysis. Because all the logs are together, administrators can search, filter, and analyze data from the entire network easily. They can look for threats spreading across multiple firewalls, identify trends in user activity across all remote sites, or troubleshoot problems by seeing traffic flow across different devices. This unified monitoring and analysis covers the entire deployment. The deployment is your complete setup of Palo Alto Networks security devices and services that you are using across your company network and cloud environments. So, Centralizes logging for unified monitoring and analysis across the deployment means that Panorama brings all the detailed log information from all your Palo Alto Networks firewalls and SASE services together into one central place. This allows administrators to easily see, watch, and analyze everything happening across their entire security setup from a single point, providing a complete picture and making security management and troubleshooting much more efficient. Streamlines configuration and reduces administrative effort for distributed security. Okay, let's focus on Streamlines configuration and reduces administrative effort for distributed security. This explains how Panorama makes the job easier for the people who manage security across a large network. Distributed security refers to having security controls, like firewalls and security services, spread out across many different locations. This could be many branch offices, different cloud environments, and remote employees connecting from anywhere. Managing security in this kind of spread-out network can be complicated and time-consuming. Configuration is the process of setting up the rules and settings on security devices, like creating security policies, defining zones, setting up VPNs, etc. Doing this configuration on many different devices can be a lot of work. Panorama streamlines configuration. To streamline means to make a process simpler, faster, and more efficient. Instead of configuring each device one by one, you configure it centrally in Panorama. You can create a policy once and apply it to a group of firewalls or services. This unified approach makes the configuration process much smoother and quicker than doing it manually on each device. Because the configuration process is streamlined, simpler and faster, it also reduces administrative effort. Administrative effort is the amount of work, time, and resources needed by the network and security administrators. Since they don't have to log into every device separately to make changes, and they can push configurations out automatically from Panorama, the amount of work they have to do is significantly reduced. They save a lot of time and effort managing the security setup across the many locations and services. This is particularly beneficial for distributed security. Managing security across many scattered locations is inherently more complex than managing security just at one main site. Panorama's ability to simplify configuration and reduce the workload makes it practical and efficient to maintain strong security policies uniformly across a network that is spread out. In simple terms, streamlines configuration and reduces administrative effort for distributed security means that Panorama makes setting up and managing security rules for many different firewalls and cloud security services much simpler and faster. This means the people who manage your network security have less work to do, especially when your security needs to cover many locations and remote users, making the whole security operation more efficient.